When you're looking to buy a new machine and you walk in this appliance store and there's 30 machines looking back at you, and every one of those machines has a tag on it that says it's going to last forever. And up walks a salesman and he's going to tell you the same thing. But here's what that salesman's not going to tell you. Now, I've repaired hundreds of washing machines. I've seen what fails and why. And most of what's on that showroom floor I wouldn't put in my own home on a bed. A while back I made a video about washing machines I would never buy. And a lot of you watched it. A lot of you asked the same follow-up question. Alright, Chip, so what would you buy? Well, today I'm going to answer that question. 4 machines, real reasons, no sales pitch. Stay with me here because by the end of this video you're going to know exactly which washer fits your situation. And you're going to be able to walk into that store knowing more than the guy that's trying to sell you one. Before I get into this list, let me tell you how I picked these machines, because my criteria are probably different from what you'd read in a magazine. Now, I'm not looking for how many wash cycles it has. I don't care about Wi-Fi connectivity or an app on my phone. What I care about is how it's built, how long it's going to last. Can somebody fix it when it breaks, and are parts going to be available when they're needed? Now, those are the questions that a repairman asks. Now, I took over this business back in 2019, and I've worked on a lot of machines in that time. I've spent decades before that doing mechanical work of every kind, from farm equipment and automobiles to aircraft. I know quality construction when I see it. In this field, I'm considered an expert. And I want to give you the kind of straight talk you'd get if you call me up and ask me personally. I've got 4 machines on this list. 2 of them I know from working on them directly. One of them I know from thorough research and from a whole lot of you in the comments singing its praises. And one of the machine I'd love to have come to my shop just so I could take it apart and look at it. But they're just not common down here in central Louisiana. I'm going to be straight with you about all of that. Now, the first machine on my list is going to be the Speed Queen TC5. And I'll tell you right up front, this is the one I'd put in my own home today. Speed Queen is made by Alliance Laundry Systems in Ripon, Wisconsin. It's American made, and it's been American made for over a century. But that's not why it's on my list. It's on my list because of what's inside it. The TC5 is a top-load agitator washer. It has a genuine agitator, not an impeller, not a wash plate. It's an actual agitator. And that matters when you're washing real dirt. And I live in the country. My laundry isn't light. I need a machine that's going to move fabric through the water with enough mechanical action to actually get clothes clean. And the TC5 does that. Now, I want to address something directly. A lot of people ask me about the TR7. And that's Speed Queen's premium top loader. It's a quality machine. I'm not going to tell you it isn't. But personally, I find that the TR7's wash action is just a bit too gentle for the soil level of my laundry. If you're washing office clothes or lightly soiled loads, the TR7 might just be perfect for you. For somebody like me, the TC5 is the right call. Now, it's more aggressive and it handles heavy dirt better, and it costs less than the TR7. And the parts for the TC5 are widely available. Any competent appliance technician can work on it. The design is straightforward, the components are accessible, and Speed Queen backs it with a solid warranty. That's everything you want in a machine that you plan to own for 20 years. Now, if I were walking into a store today to buy a washer for my own home, the TC5 is what I'd walk out with. Now, the second machine is also a Speed Queen, but it's a very different animal. It's the FF7, and this one is for a specific kind of buyer. Now, the FF7 is a front load washer. It's a standard front load configuration. It loads from the front. But what makes it different from the typical front loader is you'd find at a big box store is what's under the skin. And this thing is built to commercial standards. It runs a 1 horsepower variable speed motor, and it spins at 1200 RPM, which is significantly more power than most residential front loaders. Now, Speed Queen's commercial grade balance system means it runs every spin cycle to completion. Even when it's a load that's out of balance, most residential machines will just stop and they're going to flash an error code at you. But people who own the FF7 consistently report that clothes come out noticeably softer and they see dramatically less dryer lint, which tells you that the machine's doing a better job of cleaning fabric rather than beating it up. It carries a 5-year warranty and has some genuinely useful features, including a sanitize cycle and what Speed Queen calls a flea cycle, which is exactly what it sounds like, and it's probably more relevant to some of you than you'd like to admit. Now, the honest caveats: the FF7 is noisy. Consumer Reports flags it, and owners confirm it. If your laundry room is right next to your living space, that's something that you need to think about. It also has the standard front load door gasket, so you need to practice good maintenance to prevent mold from becoming a problem. You need to leave that door cracked when you're not using it. You need to wipe that gasket down. It's not complicated, but it's not negotiable either. The FF7 is also more expensive than the TC5. If you're coming off a front loader and you love the wash quality, but you hate the reliability problems, this is your machine. If you've got lightly soiled laundry and want the gentlest possible wash action with commercial grade durability, this is going to be the machine. Same American made pedigree as the TC5. It's just completely different wash philosophy. Now, the third machine on my list is the Maytag commercial grade residential agitator washer, and it's model MVWP585GW. Let me repeat that: MVWP585GW. And before I say anything else, I need to address something, because if you've watched my other videos, you've heard me say I don't trust Maytag's commercial technology branding. And I stand by that in general. Maytag puts that label on some machines that are standard residential appliances with commercial sounding marketing slapped on them. And that bothers me, and I've said so. But this machine is a completely different category. And I want to be very clear about that. Now, I need to be upfront about something. Maytag is owned by Whirlpool, the Whirlpool Corporation. They took it over in April of 2006. And they're the same company, and because of that, a lot of people assume every Maytag is just a Whirlpool with a different badge on it. And honestly, for most of the Maytag residential lineup, that assumption isn't far off. But the MVWP585GW is a different situation. This machine comes off a dedicated commercial assembly line in Clyde, Ohio. It's built to a spec that Whirlpool doesn't replicate under its own brand name at this level. There's no Whirlpool badge equivalent sitting next to it on the showroom floor. So while I'm not going to tell you Maytag and Whirlpool are separate companies, they're not. I will tell you that this particular machine is built to a standard Whirlpool residential lineup doesn't match. And that's honest distinction. What's inside it tells you why. It has a half horsepower motor, a quad gear transmission, premium bearings, a dual action agitator, a stainless steel wash basket, and galvanized steel paneling. Now, it's built to resist corrosion. Now, these are not residential grade components dressed up with commercial language. This is the same category of construction that you're going to find in a coin-operated laundry machine. The dual action agitator on this machine does an exceptional job of turning clothes over and moving them through the water. Now, some independent reviewers argue it handles bulky items like comforters better than the Speed Queen TC5, and that's a real point worth considering depending on what you're washing. It carries a 10-year limited parts warranty with parts and labor covered for the first 5 years. That's not a warranty you put on a machine you're not confident in. Now, the practical advantage for some buyers comes down to the parts, because this machine shares components with a broader Whirlpool manufacturing platform. Parts are everywhere. Any appliance technician in the country can source what they need for this machine, usually by the same day. In rural areas like where I operate, that's a genuine practical advantage over some other options. Is it my personal pick? No, the TC5 is still going to be the machine I put in my own home. But if Speed Queen's price point is going to be out of reach, or if you want commercial grade construction with the widest possible parts and service network behind it, the Maytag MVWP585GW is a legitimate machine that earns its place on this list. Just make sure that you're buying this specific model. Don't let anybody tell you a different Maytag with commercial technology branding and tell you it's the same thing. It isn't. Now, the fourth machine on this list is the one that I've never personally worked on. And I'm going to tell you that straight out before I say another word about it. I have not had a Miele washing machine come through my shop. Now, down here in central Louisiana, you just don't see them. But Here's what got my attention. A lot of you have been leaving in my comments on the videos talking about Miele. And I mean a lot of you. So I did what I always do when something keeps coming up. I researched it. And I have not found a single credible negative review on Miele's washing machines. Not one. Everything I've read from independent reviewers, from owners who've had them for 10 and 15 years, from appliance professionals in markets where Miele is more common, it's all exceptional reviews. So what makes Miele different? For starters, it's a German engineered and German manufactured, and the build quality reflects that. Germany makes good stuff, but they always have. Miele designs their machines to last for 20 years. They use components that are tested to a standard that most manufacturers don't come close to. And here's something that got my attention as a repairman. Miele guarantees that spare parts will remain available for at least 15 years after a model series is discontinued. And now think about what that means. That's a company that's building for longevity and backing it up in writing, not just using it as a marketing line. The construction is on a different level from what you typically see in residential machines. Miele uses a honeycomb drum design, and that's genuinely gentler on your fabric, and the engineering tolerances throughout the machine are tighter than anything else in the residential market. These machines are quiet, which by itself puts them in a different conversation from the Speed Queen FF7. Owners who have them tend to hold on to them for a very long time, and based on everything that I've read, that's exactly what Miele intends. Now, here's where I have to be straight with you about the real world limitations. The first, the price. A Miele washer starts around $1,500 and it goes up from there. That's going to put it out of reach for a lot of viewers, and I understand that. And second, the service. Miele strongly recommends that repairs only be performed by their authorized technicians. And that's not unusual for a premium European brand, but it means you need an authorized Miele service center within a reasonable distance of you. For viewers in major cities like Houston or Dallas or Atlanta or Chicago, that's probably not a problem. But for viewers in rural areas like Oakdale, Louisiana, it's going to be a real issue. I personally wouldn't buy one where I live simply because if one of my customers bought it, I couldn't support them on it, and that matters to me. But if you're in a major metro area where authorized Miele service is available, that concern goes away. So before you spend that kind of money, look up authorized service in your area first. If it's not there, this might not be the right machine for your situation. I'll say this plainly. If I lived in a major metro area and I had the budget, I would absolutely explore a Miele machine based on everything that I've read and everything my viewers have told me about it. It may be the finest residential machine you can buy, but I can't vouch for it from the service bench the way I can for other machines on this list, and you deserve to know that going in. So let me bring this together for you. If you've got real dirt, farm life, a big family, work clothes that need actual cleaning, get the Speed Queen TC5. That's my personal pick, and I'd stand behind it anywhere. If you love the idea of front load wash quality, but you've been burned out by front load and reliability problems, consider the Speed Queen FF7. Same American made toughness, different wash system. Be ready for some noise and be disciplined about the gasket maintenance. If budget is a real factor and you still want a genuine commercial grade construction with the widest possible parts and service network behind it, and you want to make sure you're getting the right machine, the Maytag MVWP585GW is worth serious consideration. Write that model number down before you go to the store. And if you're in a major city, you've got the budget, and you want the absolute best engineered residential washing machine available, regardless of where it's made, research the Miele. That's spelled M-I-E-L-E. Now talk to an authorized dealer. And look up service availability in your area for it. It might be the last washer you ever buy. And I'll put links to all four of these machines in the description below, along with my Amazon storefront, where I've got recommended tools and parts organized by repair type. If you've got a washer or dryer giving you trouble right now, check out my other videos. There's a good chance I've already fixed that exact problem on camera. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button. There are a lot of people out there who need this information, and YouTube only shows it to them when you engage with it. Chip is out.